What's up, pilots? I'm your product specialist, Wesley, and on this Friday evening, we are going to be unboxing the Black Horse Corsair, taking a look at it as it comes right out of the box, hanging out with you, our customers, and just spending the evening kind of checking this model out. Hopefully some of you got to hit the live show we did earlier from Larks. We did a little live flying, so if you didn't get to check that out, make sure after this is over, maybe go check that one out. We flew the Eurofighter and the new Cougar live for everybody then. So yeah, tonight we're just going to hang out, check it out. I got the comment section right down here so I can see you guys as we're going. Victor RC Jets, welcome in, brother. George Daw, I think that's how you say that. Tommy RC, looks like a nice big bird. It is going to be a big one. This is one of my all-time favorite Motion RC products right here in front of us, guys. If you've never seen the FlightLine Corsair, this one is amazing. I already have the bird cage, so tonight I'm going to do the bubble top instead. We've got both models now here. Papa actually bought the bird cage personally before I came to work at Motion. We loved it so much. When I got to work here, I was like, well, I got to get the other one now and check it out. So it's going to be awesome. I doubt we'll put the decals on it tonight. That's something that's kind of a little fiddly to do live. And as you know, these live things can be a little bit of a challenge putting them together here. So yeah, it's so good to see all of you guys. Keep it on checking it down there. Alan, what's up? How long will it fly? The Corsair on a 5,000 normally flies anywhere from 5 to 6 minutes comfortably. I've done a 6,000 in it and ran it about 8 minutes. It all depends on how hard you are on the throttle, of course. And as always, you're going to see this airplane flying. My goal is to get this one put together and ready for next weekend. So I'm going to Warbirds over Jacksonville. If any of y'all are here in northern Florida or South Georgia, the Gateway RC Club is having the Warbird Memorial Day fly-in. It's right next to the National Cemetery. Really, really cool event, and I wanted to be able to bring this there. We do have a giveaway plane to give away while we're down there, so if you're in the area, definitely come and check it out. But let's keep talking and unboxing at the same time. Like I said, I'm monitoring the comments. Lori's checking too if I missed anything. I'm going to just go on and flip the box up. And I've already cut the tape, so it'll be easy. But yeah, this is one of the largest FlightLine models available right now. And we also have a Spitfire the same size. Hiya! It is a big box. Lori's waving at me, telling me we have a comment and question, so let me know what it is, Lori.
They didn't ask how long it would fly, they asked how low it would fly.
Oh, how low will it fly? As low as you are willing to go before you hit the prop is how low it will fly. I missed that.
It could touch the runway.
It could touch, I mean, it could touch once, you know. So we got our decal sheet. This is a model that comes with no decals pre-applied right out of the box. So you can pick your own custom livery, can't talk. And for guys that want to know, Cali Graphics, if you've never looked on there, she has a ton of sticker sets for this airplane already available to where you can go over there and get your own custom one. You know, we like to be the company that really helps with the customizers. We love seeing all our custom airplanes from our community members, so this is always a cool thing. So yeah, this one does not come with stickers. I'm going to throw those off to the side right now. If you're interested in seeing what the stickers actually look like, there are pictures up on the product page. I know Lori is probably pulling the product page up, so we can take a look at the model here in a little bit. But we're going to continue on our unboxing for now. You get your standard warning. If you've never ordered a Motion RC airplane, this just tells you have 30 days from the time you receive your model to inspect it and make sure there's no issues with it. We have some of the best customer service in the industry though, so if you have a product come in with any kind of damage or defect, let us know. We'd like to get you taken care of. We want you guys shopping with us. We also have our manual, nice and easy. Toss that off to the side. Well, we don't know where we're going, right? No, I'm just kidding. We're going to use the manual. We're going to put it together with it. Let me grab a knife and we are going to start checking it out. Okay, so it does come in two different halves, so let's go on and take the halves off. Like I said, before the show started, I just cut the tape preliminary on there. So here is one of our wing halves. Let's start with the wing halves. This is a good place. Grab some skizzers and let's get into the model. like I said, if we see anything, love to do the Black Horse Corsair. Yeah, I actually just got the Black Horse Corsair finished. It's built. We actually had it out at Top Gun with us. Just haven't had a chance to fly it, Victor. It came out beautiful, though. I can't wait for everybody to get to see the Black Horse Corsair. That thing is beautiful. He said low. How low will it go? Yeah, sorry, I missed that comment. Read it wrong.
Your comments are a little distance away.
Yeah, in my defense, I'm reading them way over there. So here's our first wing coming out of the box. It is a dark colored airplane, so hopefully this is coming across, but it comes with all the panel lines and details already done for you right out of the box, as you expect on all of our FlightLine and free wing models. The Corsair has some of the coolest flaps too. You've never seen this, as they split into 3 sections, and that is modeled on the airplane, as you can see there. Out of the box, everything is pre-hinged, pre-glued, done for you. The only thing we're going to have to do is, after we power up our receiver, is add our control linkages on, which is no big deal. They're just ball links. Put them in, pop them on. They're super easy, as you've seen with all of our other models. The hinges are also recessed inside of the hinge, so you don't see any of them, as you can see there. That is a recessed hinge, and it's pinned, so these are not going to come unglued ever. This isn't a model with foam hinges. These are all pinned hinges, so you're not going to have to worry about that over time. Okay, I'm going to set that over to the side for now. We will come back to that in a minute when we get to it. Let's see, get into this other one real quick and grab the other wing so everybody can see that. It looks just like the other wing that we just checked out, but I need to go on and grab it real quick so it's out of the way. Everything comes pre-packaged in this clear plastic to keep it protected, as most of our models do. Did a little white chalk on yours, made it look like it'd been out in the rain. Yeah, that's always cool. You know, if you haven't already gone over to the Motion RC customer community Facebook page, guys are always sharing repaints of this model. And there are some amazing paint jobs that guys have done on this airplane.
Someone just asked, is that plastic or foam?
This is a foam model. Yeah, most of our FlightLine models are foam. It does come with lots of plastic details, like the air scoops here. Lori, while you're over there, can we zoom in on this for just a second? I know that the box, I'm trying to get rid of this as soon as possible, guys, because it does weird stuff to our camera. But I can't see what we're doing, but oh, there it is. I can see it over there. So we're going to look right here, and let's check out some of these plastic details inside the model. Here we go. I can see it over there real time. So you can see this piece right here. She may have to just hit the exposure a little bit. This has got all plastic details inside the model. I can't tell you. Dark colored airplane. It's hard to show you this in real time. But oh, there we go. You got it, Lori. Perfect. So all the innards of the air scoop are plastic, and they are detailed out very nicely. You also have your gun ports and landing light, and this is a functioning light. This will come on when you have the gear out. You can see the gun ports here. While we're all zoomed in, let me put it up. The retract doors are sequenced. They close and cover the aluminum retracts. These are suspension aluminum retracts in this airplane. Hopefully we can get them out in a little bit. And while we're in there showing all this, let me turn the hinges around and show this now that we can really see it. But there is our split flap, as you can see, the split flaps. And as you can see, they're all pocketed. These are real hinges. This isn't just a foam hinge. Same thing when we look at our aileron here. It is an actual pinned hinge, and they are keyed down inside. So a very premium looking thing here. This is a great, great model. For guys that have always wanted a Corsair, I would say this is probably the definitive foam Corsair ever made. And it flies fantastic. Can't wait to get this one out. We'll definitely do it. You can zoom out a little bit, Lori, and we will get to the next part. I know that the exposure is probably all kinds of crazy, guys. It's this white box. It throws off everything. So we're trying to get rid of that as fast as possible here, if it looks kind of crazy. Our next part coming out of the box is going to be our elevator. Lori, just stay over here and run camera for a minute, and I can check the stuff down here. I did mine up as the TV rendition of Pappy Boeingtons. Oh, I bet that looks great. Eddie, have you ever shared that over on the Motion RC customer community? I'm sure guys would love to see that airplane if they haven't already. Dark, yeah, it is a dark colors right now. It's this way, I'm telling you, it's the white foam.
Once the white foam goes
once
away,
once we get rid of the foam, we'll show everything a little better. Let me just get them out quickly.
Yeah.
Here's our elevator.
Then I can adjust and
right.
make it look
We have a spar. Make sure we don't lose that or forget to put it in. That would be bad. Grab me a tray real quick, put my parts in as we go. And just make sure that all of our parts and pieces are out of the foam. One thing I tell guys to do, don't throw away the foam packaging until you finish assembling your airplane. That way, I've done this. That way, if you miss a part in the package and you throw it away, you can't get that part without buying it again. So always keep your package until you're done assembling, just in case you accidentally forget something in the package. We have the pieces that bolt the wing on, along with our antenna aerial for behind the cockpit. Set those aside. We'll get better shots of this stuff after we get rid of the box, like I said. We have our rudder. Nice thing about the rudder, if you ever accidentally nose this over, it happens with warbirds, and it flips over and breaks the rudder screws on this airplane, so you can order just replacement rudders if you ever damage it. We do keep every piece of this airplane in stock at Motion RC, so you can repair your models if you have any oopses. Not to say we all have any oopses, but we all have oopses. So there is our rudder. Beautiful design again. Well, like I said, we'll get some close-ups of that after we get everything out of the box and are checking it all out. We have our bag of propeller pieces, so it has a really cool hub that bolts on with all the blades and everything, but this is all the pieces for the hub minus our propeller, which will be in here somewhere as we go. Here are the blades. This has one of the coolest looking props on it of any other airplane I've ever seen that. Been there, done that yet. EQRC, what's up, man? Rahuffins 13. Guys that are getting in a little late, welcome in. Welcome in. Timothy Toutant, glad to see you're up and about. I know you had a little bout with some sickness, so I'm glad to see you are back up and running. San Expo, to you guys. I don't believe that this airplane has any glue to it. I'll have to double check as we put it together tonight. But if I remember right, this airplane screws together all the way, other than I think maybe the guns glue in and some little peripherals is all. But I don't think there's actually any glue to this model.
basically with stuff you can take it apart and put it back.
Right. As far as taking it apart and put it back in the package, yeah. I think there's, if I remember right, there's not anything that glues on this airplane, but we'll find out as we go. We're putting it together tonight. We'll find out all together here as we go. If I remember right, from last time I put one of these together, there is no glue in this airplane. We have our quick connects for taking the wing on and off. This is our standard blue box where you have only 2 connections to take your wings on and off. It makes it a lot easier than having 6 servo connections. Now you only, or 7, let's see, you'd have 7 servo connections because there's also wheels in the wings. But instead you only have 2 now. It also comes with some metal weights that can go in the cowling. I put them in. I like it with the weight because I fly with 5,000s and 6,000s, and you can always just move the battery back because this has a huge inside. Let me grab a stand real quick because we are on to getting the big part out here. And just like all of our FreeWing and FlightLine models, the assembly of this airplane goes super fast. And that's how we can do that with you guys live here. Not to say I won't fumble something as we're doing it live. It happens. As I say that, I almost dropped this. So here we go. We've got the fuselage coming out of the package. We'll slide that off. And an absolute beautiful finish on this. You can see it has that sweet looking radial engine right out of the box, a beautifully detailed FlightLine pilot. This does have the retractable tail wheel, which is pretty darn sweet, and you've got those molded exhaust ports. But let me set this off to the side. Like I said, we're going to try and get rid of the package first, and then we will definitely check everything out with some zoom. Zoom it, and we'll correct all our colors real quick. So I'm going to set this package off to the side, and I think we can now maybe kind of focus in a little bit more on the model itself and correct our colors a little bit for the screen here. Brighten us up a little bit. Yeah, I think now you can brighten us up a little bit, and it won't be so crazy without that there. And then we can zoom it in and start checking out some of the details on this model before we put it together.
All right, where you want me?
All right, come on and just zoom in. I can see it over there on the screen, and I'll make sure I hold it in the right spot. There we go. Hey, so brighten us up a little bit, and we're going to check it. There you go. Thank you. So as you can see, there's that beautiful engine detailing right out of the package. This is a replacement part too if you ever do damage this, but you can see that motor recessed down in there. Absolute beautiful finishing on this. You can see all of the rivet details, panel lines are really well done on this model. I love the zinc chromate inside of the canopy. You can see that little zinc chromate touch along with your dashboard and instruments. And then you can see, like I said, let me get that reflection on it, and you can see all those details. There's our retractable tail wheel. It is in the up position right now currently. And the tail hook drops when you drop everything. I mean, it's pretty cool how this all works. There you go, there's all that. And you can see all your plastic receiving points so you can screw everything together. The elevator and the rudder both screw onto this model, so if you ever have any damage, you're going to be able to fix this airplane with replacement parts. Another cool thing, if you see under here, these are the exhaust. These are plastic molded exhaust. Very cool detail on the airplane also. And you can see right there where you pass it through. And this is something cool that I haven't seen in any other Corsair models other than ours, but you can see here there's actually a window that goes right through to the cockpit, so you can see out the bottom of the airplane. And that's cool. I didn't know that was actually on a real airplane until doing this model. But yeah, there's that little window on the bottom of the airplane, which is a cool detail that's not usually seen. And let's see, there he is, our little pilot right there. So let's zoom back out for just a second, and let me grab another part as we were trying to show these two other pieces off. I wasn't ready for it, but we'll give you all that elevator real quick. So come back in. Hi, here's your elevator. We're trying to give you those as close up and detailed as we can for just a second. But as you can see, it's got the lines that mimic this being our fabric covered section, and this would be our metal section on the real airplane, and that's mimicked in the foam. These are also pin hinged. As you can see, these are not foam hinges. They are pinned, and you do have, as we've come standard, ball links all around to make the airplane easier to assemble and adjust and fix. So yes, this is a screw-on piece also, and then we also have our rudder here. As you can see, ball links, and once again, it's mimicked to look like fabric on this side, whereas this side would be metal on the real airplane, and that's why you have the inspection hatches and everything on this side. But a real Corsair, if you ever see it, the control surfaces are actually fabric on that airplane. So, all right, Lori, let's zoom out, and let me grab the instructions, and let's probably get to assembling the airplane. Grab the instructions, and we're just going to work right along on this and hang out. Like I said, guys, if you have questions for me, let me know. We're trying to stay on topic of the Corsair, but if we don't, we're hanging out with you, the customers, and I want to answer any questions you have. They did start including these blue box pages in a lot of the models too, so you have the pinouts if you decide to use your blue boxes in other airplanes, or if you accidentally unplug your blue box and you need to redo it. First step in the process is to install the elevator. The elevator is held on with 4 screws, which I have to find momentarily, but we can go on and key that in real quick, like so. Remember, this airplane, you shouldn't have to force anything in. It should just slide in nicely, so kind of work that part around. You saw it right then until it actually just drops right in there. Shouldn't be having to force anything. We need PA 3x8mm screws. Let's see, where's our screw bag? Right here. And if you haven't checked out one of these stands, these are available here at Motion RC. This is the Ernst Mega Stand, and it will make your life so much easier when you're assembling your models. I never put anything together without one. Probably my favorite stand out of all of our stands that we have is this one. And then I really love the Benchcraft. It's like an X-shaped one. If you didn't see our video on it earlier this week on Benchcraft stands, we have one that's great for out at the flying field. I used mine today actually. But it's a big stand that stands up about 4 feet tall, so you can work on them out at the flying field without needing a workbench. So that one's always great too. I take that one everywhere with me. Alright, so here's our screws. I've got them here. I need to figure out if we're using the countersunks or the standards. We're using the standards. Easy enough. The countersunks are going to be for the rudder. The standard screws, I don't know if y'all can see that. There's 4 countersunk ones. These are going to be for the rudder. The center ones, which are the button heads, are going to be for the elevator. And then the different looking ones, they're bigger flat washer head screws. These are going to be for the wings. And then like I said, this last package is your weights for the front of the airplane. So let's go on and grab these 4 button screws. See, the nice thing about having that stand out now, I've got this empty tray. I can cut these screws and not shoot them all over the building right now. Anybody that's ever had one of these planes and shot the screws everywhere, then you got to go look for them. Ugh, awful. I didn't remember to get my Benchcraft screwdrivers out, but I have some other screwdrivers here right now that work. Let's start screwing our elevator halves on. L lesson, yeah man. We try and make this as easy as we can for our customers. You know, you can build your airplane right along with this video. We also have really polished build videos if you'd rather have that, but we try to be as transparent as we can. We let the products talk for ourselves, or for themselves. You know, the airplanes are quality, man. As you can see, I don't need to hide nothing. When you make a good product, they stand out for themselves. There's always something coming, that's true. Who knows? Could be looking at it. You never know. Speaking of new airplanes, everybody liking the Cougar? I know we're getting close to people starting to get those, so super excited for everybody to start getting that airplane. It flies fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. All right, our next step is to put our rudder on. Let's go on and key that down in there. Once again, never force anything. If you don't have it in there right, it's just not going to go in there. There are arrows and everything that tell you which way to put the pieces on. We're going to take our time here and just gently key that down without having to force it. Should just go in nice once you line it up. And once again, we're going to use the screws that have the countersunk. They're like a V style in this part. And you have 4 of them. 2 on each side. So we're going to go on and get those put on right now. Wild Bill, what's up, man? Trying to make sure I talk to everybody I see coming in. Cougar is definitely going to be cool. Yeah, man. Like I said, I flew it today. We did that live video, so after this, if you have a chance and want to check it out, we flew the Cougar and the Eurofighter both live today, and it was a lot of fun. Old Skip sure enjoyed them, that's for sure. He was out there just screaming away. You'll hear him in the video too. Old Skip loves airplanes, man, loves them. I'm going to flip this around so I can hit the other side, put those screws in. Papa and Skip are outside right now playing, while we in here hanging out with you guys. Line that up. I know you can't see me screwing screws in right now, but trust me, I'm screwing 4 screws in. That's what we're doing here. So yeah, like I said, if you need to get this back in the box for shipping purposes, or if you damage any of these parts, just simply unscrew them and screw your new piece on, which is awesome on this airplane. I really do think this is one of the greatest RC warbirds ever made from any company. I'm not just saying that because I work here. I mean, honestly, I bought it personally whenever I didn't work here. How's the paint quality? I mean, guys, can you see it right now? I mean, we tried to zoom in as much as we can.
Let me do another.
Let's zoom now that we got the fuselage in one piece for right now. So come on in here. Now, like I said, this comes with no decals out of the box, so that you can pick whatever scheme you would like on your Corsair. But look at this thing, man. There you go. How's the paint quality out of the box? And this is one we just pulled out of the warehouse. I don't get no special models or anything when they come to me. This one could have been one of yours. But yeah, the paint on it is flawless. You can see the wheel is painted white on the tail wheel. It's actually plastic cladded on the tail wheel. Not painted, excuse me. But yeah, I mean, the paint quality is fantastic. You can see the fitment of the elevator and the rudder now that I've installed them is awesome. I mean, what else could you expect there? All right. Let's set that back down for just a second. We have to go crazy exposure for you to see this dark colored airplane. Now, in the manual it says to go on and pop your linkages on. What I would recommend to do is go on and leave your linkages off until you get the airplane assembled and get your receiver in. That way when you power it on the first time, it's going to automatically center all your servos, and then when you clip your linkages on, you can go on and make sure you make everything flat, which is what we're going to do as we go. But I'm just telling you, I am going along with the manual. If I make any changes, I'm going to tell you what I'm changing. And that would be my first change I would tell you to do. Wait to put your linkage on the ball links until we actually get in there. And if you want to see inside real quick, let me pop the hatch open here. Forgot to even show you all in there. So, let's see, Lori, I'm sorry. Can you come zoom one more time? While we're thinking about it, and the airplane's not all put together with the wings on and everything, it'll be a little bit easier to show you inside the battery compartment right now, guys. Magnetic battery tray hatch, so we pop that off. Right now you can see we've got our wood board here that's going to be for our battery to go in. It comes with the battery strap pre-applied. It also comes with some shelf liner. I always glue this in instead of using Velcro. It works really great, I guess. Making your batteries not slip. So that comes right there in the box now. You have your blue box here. This is what actually controls the lights, the wheels, the sequencers for the gear doors. Everything has gone right through this box. And you have your two connections for the wings. Right, let's see. Grab this right here. So there's our two wing connections that we're going to be using in a minute. I'll tell you about it when I go to do this part, but right now you can at least see them. There's our two wing connectors. You also have these rods right here and these two screws. I'm going to talk about this when I do it here in a minute. Once we fire up the model, we're going to need to come in here and loosen these guys off. And that makes it to where we can slide our rod back and forth in the servo itself to make our adjustments to get it centered and to push them all the way out. So they come kind of far in for shipping. We're going to loosen them off and go on and push them. So let's go on and do that. We're going to loosen both of these guys off right now and get those ready for when we get to the part where we need to hook that up. But like I said, for the time being, we're going to go on and loosen that up. You also have all of your servo ends already out. They are all labeled for you: throttle, elevator, rudder, ailerons, gear, all of that. And the other thing I will tell you, I may not do it while we're live, but I'm definitely going to do it on this airplane, is I'm going to add a Hobby Eagle light gyro to this. I have one in our other Corsair, and man, it makes this thing rock solid, guys. So I definitely recommend when you're buying one of these, I think they're 30 bucks right now, go on and definitely add a Hobby Eagle gyro to this airplane, and you will not be disappointed with the way it makes this airplane fly. It is sweet. Now, once again, you don't have to, you know, I know I don't want to start a war in the comments that gyros are terrible, gyros are good. Personally, I love gyros. They make airplanes fly nice. I like them. I can fly without them. You know I can. But personally, I really like them. Especially on a warbird that could be a little more wind sensitive on a crosswind day, it makes it where you get to keep still flying and having a great time. Okay, next thing for us to do, we need to get our wing halves. So let me grab that. And I'm not doing it right now, but something that I normally do when I'm building is, and this is something you might do too, go to the garden section of your local hardware store, and I purchase, you know, this kind of carpet stuff that would be used for like an outdoor patio. And so when I'm building my foam planes, I don't do it for now so it looks prettier on this wood. But if you want a way to keep your airplanes from getting dinged and scratched while you're putting them together, even on the kitchen table, whatever, you know, hard surfaces on foam can hurt them. So what I like, I'm going to show you this right now. I said I went to Lowe's and I picked up this outdoor carpet stuff. It's real lightweight. I keep it under my workbench at all times. And I can throw that out there. And now when I'm setting my wing halves on the table, I'm not going to damage them. So this is something you can think of. Same thing in the trailer. I take this stuff and I put it on the shelves in my trailer that I set the foam airplanes in, put the gear up, set it on this carpet, and that carpet keeps them from sliding around while they're in the trailer too. And really helps a lot. So something to think about, you might do. So for our wing halves, what we need to do before we put them together, we need to take our carbon spar and we're going to slide that in. Now the wing halves can always be taken back apart all the way if you do not want to glue them together. I know I've seen some customers that glue the halves together. Does not recommend that in the manual, and I try and build mine by the manual. Plus, if you want to be able to take it apart later or only buy one half or one half, I would tell you to not glue these together. Like I said, that's always up to you. The airplane is structurally strong enough to not be glued together here, so I recommend not doing it. But like I said, we sell each half of the wing as its own half. So if you accidentally bang one half, you only have to buy one half. So, and as you can see, this is going to key together something. There we go, like that. And now you can see that makes a one-piece wing when we do that. Now, we need to leave it apart for just a second and reach over and grab these two wires. These are your quick connects that are going to go up into the fuselage and plug into that blue box that I was showing you. Now some customers also like to eliminate the blue box. If you want to, you can. There is all your servo connections for the wings right there in those two boards. Now, I trust them. I have had tons and tons of FlightLine models and never had an issue with them. But for the guys that want to, that is an option. You can change them out. So we're going to plug these two in. Give me just a second, Lori, and we'll lift it up after I get them plugged in. So we're going to plug that piece in and plug this piece in. I'll show you what we did. They say kind of live, you just kind of got to do it and then show you. So then you flip them over like this. You want to slide your wing halves together and make sure you don't pinch anything while you slide them together. And now, as you can see, I have those two extensions in there and my wing half slid together. Now we're going to turn the wing over and we're going to grab our plastic bits. Let me switch to the next page. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. I do. Now we're going to grab our bag of the plastic wing connectors. We're going to open that up. Part. Well, it's not something important at the moment. We'll get it in a second. Okay. I think it was just a extra ball link piece. I think I remember seeing it too. We'll check here in a second. But yeah, like I said, guys, if you haven't ever thought of that, a piece of this carpet will save you from denting and scratching your airplane. It's the worst thing in the world when you scratch your airplane putting it together. These are our little peripherals for the canopy. One goes up here and one goes in the back. Anyway, we'll show you that in a second. So let's get these out. As you can see, I don't know if you can or not, but they have arrows printed on these pieces so you know which way to go to the front. They're pretty self-explanatory there. They only fit one way. And these slide right down into the wing. You can see the other plastic one right here. And that's just going to key right there into the front. And that actually holds your two halves together nice and securely. As you can see, there's our two plastic pieces that actually hold the wings on. And like I said, if you need to take the wings apart for transport, you can take the whole wing off, pop these off, and slide them apart to take up even less room in the car. We know this is a larger model, so it's designed to be easy to take apart and take to the field for guys that have smaller cars too. Yes, okay?
Twist and turn gear?
Yes, they are twist and turn gear. For whoever's asking that right now, hopefully, Mike, we will probably have the airplane fired up here in just a few minutes, and we can put the gear out and you can see them cycling up and down here momentarily. Now, next part for us to do on the airplane is bring our fuselage back over here. I'm going to set the wing off to the side and get it turned over. Taking it easy tonight, guys. I decided I'm not going to rush anymore when I'm putting these airplanes together with you. It just takes however long it takes. So our next step is to take, and right here there is a hole cut out in the fuselage. Right here. We're going to take our two multi-function connectors. We're going to pass those through there. And I'm going to turn the airplane back up on its top. And I'm going to get myself in the right position, and I'm going to guide this down now, ever so slightly, until we get our connectors and everything down in the model. I should have popped the lid off. Give me just a second. There we go. Pop the lid off. And I'm going to reach up with my hand and see if I can grab those connectors. Got one.
Oh, come on, Wes, just rush it.
Nah, life's too short to rush, guys. There we go. I got both of my connectors. Now, what you want to do is, as you're putting this wing down, you want to make sure that you do not pinch those two white connectors. They should just go right down in there and have no resistance, anything. And now I can reach down here and pull them. As you can see, I've got the two white connectors hanging out the bottom of the airplane now. Take your time, guys. No reason to be in a big rush here. Now we're going to grab the 4 connections that have the larger washer style head. You actually get 6 of these screws, so I don't know if 2 of them are extras or if they go somewhere else here in a moment. But we're going to go on and drop those 4 in there, oops, of our wing screws. Hopefully everybody's enjoying this. Little fun Friday evening for everybody. We're going to tighten the wing up now. Remember, this is foam, guys. Don't over tighten it. Can't see that one. And I know this is probably not going to be the best angle right now, but just trust me, I'm putting 4 screws in. Not hard. I like to only use 2 fingers when I put these together as far as my tightness goes, and I'll show you what I mean here in a second. Alright, now that I got them all started in there at the right angle, I can show you what I mean. So, when you're putting your airplanes together, this is foam. Don't over tighten it. If you go to ratcheting down it, you're just going to crush stuff. So I take 2 fingers and I turn it until I can't turn it anymore with those 2 fingers. Any more than that and you're going to start crushing foam, and you don't need to do that. So like I said, 2 fingers, you can't over torque it this way. And just all the way until it stops, and that's nice and tight. 2 fingers, get it tight, and stop. Right, now let's turn the model back over, because I believe we are going to be on to the wiring step next. As you can see, the airplane got pretty big by putting those wings on. Okay, give me just a second, guys. Been talking a lot. Let me get a sip of water here. We missed any comments, any questions as we've been going here? It looks like everybody's still having fun.
Oh yeah, everybody's just talking away, having a great time. Got about 106 people in here.
Wow.
Pretty great.
Well, welcome in, guys. All of you watching tonight with us this Friday evening. Who knows? Do y'all like this later broadcast time? You know, normally we try and do noon, but I'm pretty flexible. So if y'all like this later evening time for when I'm personally doing this, you know, James is going to do his times, I do my times. We try and, you know, just keep the content flowing for you. But if you like these later in the evening stuff, I don't mind doing them personally for myself. Now I'm going to loosen off my rods. I showed you these things earlier. I'm just going to loosen them up. The two rods for the tails. And I'm going to put those out. The one with two rods is your elevator. The one with one rod is your rudder. All I'm doing is moving them out of the way so I can plug my multi-function connectors in the model. So now I'm going to take my two white multi-function connectors. Hard to show you this part, guys. I'm going to plug them in and then I'll pick it up and show you it. But I'm going to plug those two connectors into the blue box now for the wing. Get those seated and then I will pick it up and show you what I did. So all I did was our two wires that we passed through the fuselage. Ooh, I don't know if they're going to see that from that far away. Zoom me.
Zoom it.
Happy Friday, yeah. Mark, hey, what's going on, man? There we go. There we go. So here we go. You can see where our two white connectors came through the fuselage now when we put our wing on. And all I did was take these two white connections and plug them in here into our multifunction board. And that gets all of our servo connections for the wings in two pieces. So for customers that need to take this airplane apart and take it to the field, you only have two connectors instead of having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'd have 6 servo leads normally, so it takes them and puts them into 2 wires. Really nice, awesome little design. And then once you get them in there, just tuck them down out of the way to where they're not going to get into the wires for the control horns. All right, let's slide this up here. Yep, happy Friday, everyone. Trying to keep an eye on all this. How excited you were to see us in Cletus. Yeah, that was a fun day this week for the guys that are in here that got to see that. Anytime we get a chance to go over and hang out with Cletus is a fun day, like I said. A very fun day. All right, so at this point, let me grab my receiver. I just grabbed one of our standard Futaba R208 SB receivers. These are available on Motion RC, of course. Hey, Lori, would you spin around and grab my Futaba radio? It's in the box right there. Yep. Forgot to grab my radio out. And let me grab a battery, because at this point, we need to look at getting our receiver in, powering up the model, and then we're going to put our control rods on. Like I said, I like to wait until this part to start putting all our control rods on. That way we know all of our servos are centered, and it'll be a lot easier. So I'm going to grab my radio and just make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, we're at the part where we need to put that together. Now, I definitely recommend leaving the propeller off until we are completely done assembling the model. We've got all our radio settings in it, everything's ready. Leave that propeller off. This is a big propeller with a lot of power behind it. It could really hurt you working on the workbench, so always leave this off until we get done. So I'm going to grab my brand new receiver here, if I could open the box. There we go.
While you're struggling,
Yeah.
someone's asking for friends, do you think this thing could handle 8S, or would you recommend me to get it 6S?
Could it handle 8S. I don't know that the stock propeller could handle 8S is the only issue. For whoever's asking it, I can't personally recommend it as Motion RC. This airplane is set up to be a 6S airplane. And like I said, that big propeller, I think with 8S behind it, it could blow it up. So I wouldn't recommend it. And honestly, you don't need it. If you ever fly this airplane on 6S, it has tons of horsepower. You really, really do not need that in this airplane. But there's always the option. People do it. What you do with your airplane once you receive it is up to you. It would void the warranty though. So what we're going to do right now is get all of our receiver wires out. I'm going to grab my Futaba radio and just hang with me for a second, guys, as we get... No, I got my Futaba one, Mike. Got my 16 right here, 16IZ. Been really loving this radio, you know. I made the switch to Futaba when I came to work here at Motion RC, and I've actually really enjoyed it. It took me a little bit to get used to the radio system differences, but it's been bulletproof. I have not had a single issue with any type of signals with this radio since I got it, and it really programs really easy once you learn the new system. So let's see, I need to go, let's go on and make a new model. Model select, new model, yes. Let's see, I need to go to, there we go, crank out a new one. I'm going to type in a new name, Corsair, 1600. I love the touchscreen. So, okay, you want my honest opinion, coming from Spectrum to this, I have an iX20 also. I will say that I love that this one is instant on, instant off. I like the touchscreen interface on the 16IZ. It's been very easy to use. I didn't have any issue with my Spectrum radios either. I mean, I'm always going to be fair and honest with you guys. That's what I try and do. But yeah, this radio, like I said, here's what I like. Oh, I'm going to turn it off, I'm done. Oh, it's time to fly again? I can go fly now. That, I like that on this touchscreen interface.
You don't even know.
You don't even know. Exactly. That's so much easier. So let's see. I need to go in and make sure I assign all my switches correctly real quick before we put our receiver in. And I'm going to show you what I do. So on Futaba, the pinout is actually whatever you choose. So, you know, you just have 1 through 8 on your receiver. So what I'm going to do now is go into my linkage menu. And I'm doing this in real time with you. I'm sorry it's a little boring with the radio setup part, but that's just kind of how this goes. We need to go to our function menu at this point, and I'd love to be able to show it to you. It's just hard to do this live. And then we can see port 1, we have our aileron, elevator is port 2, port 3 is going to be throttle, 4 is rudder, 5 is gear, although I always change the channel from SE and I put it on SF. I always put all my switches in the same place. No matter what airplane I'm flying, I know where my switches are. So gear is always SF. So we're going to change that in the model menu. It's super easy. We just type on SF. Super easy. And then channel 6 is set up to air brake right now. We're going to change that to flap. And we're going to switch that one to SB, which is this switch right here. So Sierra Bravo. Hardware select, and now we have all of our functions set up in our radio. Now we can go over to airplane and go to our servo monitor, and this is how I do all of my airplanes, just so you're knowing. Now under servo monitor I can see that port 1 is aileron, port 2 is elevator. Can you zoom in on this for a second, Lori, actually? Show you what I'm talking about. Let's go home. If you're using this same radio, these are available here on Motion RC. It's a super powerful radio option. For the price too. So what we could do now that we've got our menu set up, I should have probably done this whole thing like this. I'm sorry I didn't, guys. I didn't think about it until right now. So now that we've done it, we can go airplane, servo monitor, and now, like I said, it shows port 1 is our ailerons, and if we move the aileron stick, you can see that that moves. Elevator, it moves, it shows you. But now I know exactly what ports to use on my receiver just by going off of that list. So now that I've got that list, you can zoom back out, Lori. we're going to install our receiver at this point. And I'm probably going to add a Hobby Eagle gyro into this too, but just for the, where are we going? There we are. For the fact of making it easy while we're doing this live assembly, I'm just going to stick it in there like this right now. So we know that aileron, we're going to grab our aileron port, goes into channel 1. Aileron, channel 1. And then we know that elevator goes into channel 2. And this could be different, so make sure whatever you're setting up personally on your Futaba or Spectrum or whatever radio, you plug it into the corresponding port that's the correct port. On Spectrum, all you would do is roll your scroll wheel to the right once to see what the port layout is on that radio system also. So we know guys fly both systems, it's okay. Our throttle channel is going to go into port 3. Our rudder is going to go into port 4. And for guys that were wanting to see the gear, we are getting very close to putting the gear out. Remember, yellow is signal or white is always signal. It is standardized across all RC airplanes now, so either white or yellow is going to be your signal wire always. So that's always the one that goes to the S or the top. In Futaba, you go to the top. Let's see, port 5 is going to be our gear, landing gear. And finally, port 6 is going to be the flaps. So, flaps. All right, now we need to bind the model. Now on Futaba, this is an SFHSS. So there's multiple protocols on Futaba. So we need to make sure we select whatever protocol, if you're running a 16IZ like I am, of receiver you're putting in there. So we sell multiple different protocol receivers here at Motion RC. And like I said, this radio can do them all. That's a nice thing. So let's go back to the model menu. We're going to go to linkage menu now. I think Lori's trying to come zoom in.
Okay.
Dun, da, da, da. All right, so now we're going to go to, try and do this without glare, linkage menu, and we're going to go to system type. Trying to do this where you can't see it, system type, and we're going to pick whatever it was on the front of this, SFHSS, which we are already on, so yes. And I can't remember if this is one you have to do system type. No, it's not. Okay, so this is a fast link. So now all we do is go to the home screen, and you can zoom us back out.
Zoom out.
So the cool thing is we're on the home screen of the Corsair now. We got it selected on the right protocol. Sometimes this is a lot easier if you have a friend. So Lori, I would like a friend right now. Grab your wife, grab somebody at the flying field to do this part. Once you've linked it to it once, it's always linked. But what we're going to do now is I am going to hold the bind button on the receiver, and Lori's going to plug it in now. Just like that. And now we're bound. Now we can give it a quick wiggle of the controls. And it all works. Now, first thing I always do after binding a new model, which we have just done, we're going to do a throttle calibration. And this is the same on any FreeWing or FlightLine model available here at Motion RC. You do it the same way. First thing you want to do, take your controller, have it on, go to full throttle with the propeller off. If you have an EDF, it's okay. Just make sure you put your legs or something to where the airplane can't fly off the table if it decides to. But with any prop-driven airplane, take the propeller off for this part. That's why I like to do it in the build process right now while we don't have it on there. Full throttle. We're going to plug the ESC in. You're going to listen for 2 beeps. At that point, we're going to take the throttle stick and drop it back to 0. So here we go. We're going to set the endpoints of our receiver right now. Down to 0. That's as easy as it is. I know that seems like a silly thing, but what that does is it sets your bottom and your top range of your throttle stick. So now, as soon as I crack it open, it's on. As soon as I'm at the bottom, it's off. If you ever have an airplane where you have to put like a quarter throttle in before anything happens, you need to do a throttle calibration and set your endpoints. Same thing if you plug it in and the airplane just sits there going beep, 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 beep. That will fix it on that. So anyway, we can, for now, throw a battery strap on this. I am going to fix the receiver after the show, but like I said, I'm going to throw a Hobby Eagle gyro in it. I don't want to put y'all through me having to do that right now, though, because it'll take a few minutes, and it's just, if you want to see how to do it, we have videos on how to do that already. It's not something I want to do live. So, let's strap our battery down for now, and I'm going to take and put this stuff in here. Alright, so at this point we can hook up our elevator. Now I know it said to do it earlier in the instructions, but what we have waited for is this point so we can center everything. So I'm going to grab my radio and set it off to the side so I don't actually throw it on the floor. Let's hook the elevator up now. So all we're doing is going back here to the ball link and snapping it in. Remember, we've got the wires loose up here, so we can grab this and clip it in, and then grab the other one and clip it in, just like so. Now what we want to do is make sure that our elevator is loose. Remember, there's that screw that I showed you earlier on top of the elevator servo. So we're going to loosen it off. And now we want to make sure we look down the elevator and get it perfectly level. So I got this one level. And I got this one level. Now we're all centered up. We know our servo is centered, and we can tighten it down. So we're going to grab our screwdriver and tighten it down. And tight. Just take a quick look and make sure that's all still tight. It is. And now we can give it a quick control check. And it's working. Now we're going to do the same thing for the rudder. We're going to come back here to our ball links, which you can't see right now. I'm sorry, it's on the wrong side. It's still a little tight, so let me loosen that off. Now I can slide my control rod out, clip it in, just like that, and now we're hooked up. Now we're going to center our rudder. You can hold it in the center, and we're going to get that screw tight. Once you get it touching, I definitely recommend reaching in there and putting your fingers around this so that it doesn't get super twisted while you're trying to tighten this up. Just like so. And now our rudder should work. There you go. That's all working correctly now. Now, I know a lot of guys wanted to see the gear work earlier. We're all fired up now. I'm ready to turn the airplane over, so this is a good time for us to show you those landing gear work. Got my battery strapped down so it's not going to fall out when I turn the airplane over. All right. There you go. All right, so this is what everybody wants to see always, is the gear go up and down. Make sure I'm clear of everything. Like I said, if you don't have one of these Ernst Ultra stands, go on and pick one of these up from us. This is going to make your life so much easier putting one of these airplanes together. But okay, yep, so right here you can see our gear doors and everything. Let's test them now at this point. So we're going to flip our gear for the first time. Alright, so they are backwards. So I always like to put my gear, let me flip them one more time just to make sure. Yeah. Here they come out, twist and turn just like the real ones. So I always set all of my switches up, and this is a good practice for you, to where away from me is setting on the ground, down, ready to land. So I know flaps up, gear down, everything is away from me. So right now, my gear are backwards of what I like them. Super easy though, we can fix that. All we do is go to our system menu, or linkage menu, excuse me, and we're gonna go to servo reverse. Always make sure the prop's off when you're doing servo reversing. If you accidentally reverse the throttle right now, it flies across the room and hits the walls and you don't have an airplane. Always take the prop off. Leave it off for this part. From experience. Alright, so all I need to do is go to my gear channel now and reverse it though to make my switch the direction I like. So we're going to reverse it. Go back. They're going to go down because I just reversed it. You're going to see our sequenced gear doors. Give them a second. They take a little bit of time. There you go. Boom. Now, when I put my gear in the down position, the light is going to come on, the gear are going to come out, and the tail wheel is going to come out if you didn't see that. So here we go. Did the light come on? And Lori, just so they can get a good shot of it, let's get a zoom in on the tail wheel if we can. Show you that go up and down once. Everybody always loves this part and wants to see it. So here's the tail wheel. Lori's going to come over here. Hey, and we'll go up and down once on this because this is a retracting tail wheel. So here we go. And we'll come back out momentarily. And coming back out. Gear doors are going up. And whoop. Isn't that cool? And then while you're zoomed in, we might as well do one more retraction where you can really see this. Let me turn it towards them so you get the landing light too.
Okay.
On that one gear. So as you can see, the landing light's on. I'm going to zoom in on just this one right here.
Okay.
They both do the same thing, so at least you can see this one real good. Here you go, guys. So you've got your inner gear doors. You have your landing light. So when we go gear up, the landing light's going to turn off. The twist and turns are going to work. So here we go. We're going to flip it. You got about a 3 or 4 second delay. Landing light goes off. Gear goes down. And then your inner gear doors are going to go up and make this perfectly clean, just like the real airplane. Isn't that the coolest thing? A gear always amazes me. Especially when they're like this. And twist and turn out. And these are full suspension, so you can see they have full suspension on them. Nice ball bearing wheels. The quality you expect, guys. It's awesome stuff. Alright, so at this point, we got to put our flaps and things on. Pretty simple. As soon as I find them all, get all the linkages ready. Alright, so let me get to the right page. So in your FlightLine manual, there is page 5 at this point is where we're at. And it shows to put, let me make sure I got these all working. I do. It shows to, they're backwards though. I also just noticed my flaps are reversed. Before we get to this, so linkage menu, servo reverse, and flaps, we're going to go the other direction also. So now we've got flaps up and flaps down, which is what we want. So out is, no wait. I had them the right way. Flaps, yes. So all the way down and then pull them out. Okay.
Someone was the prop shaft diameter of this thing?
Ooh, I do not have a caliper with me right now to get the prop shaft diameter for you. Shoot a message to me on either Instagram or Facebook, private message me and tell me you were the one from the live show that needed the prop shaft diameter. And after the show, I will put a micrometer on it. I might not do it tonight because it is Friday evening, but I will get you an answer on that, okay? I promise you I will get you an answer if you'll shoot me a message, either Facebook or Instagram. Pick one of the two. Just say, hey, I'm the guy from the live chat that wanted that. We might have that also if you contact customer service. They might already have that information. Anyway, back to what we were talking about for a second though. Page 5, FlightLine Manual, shows all of your control horns, the holes that you're going to use, and the rod links. this is very important. On any airplane you're setting up, don't just throw the control rods in there. If you hit the wrong horns, we've designed these airplanes to use certain horns, and it's a big deal on some of the airplanes that you make sure you use the correct holes for the correct ones. So anyway, I'm going to use page 5 right now. We're going to go through and put our control horns on to the wing. There are 4 total. Gear, rudder, elevator, ailerons are the shorter ones than the flaps. There we go. So these 2 are the same. And shorter and shorter. I'm just making sure I grab the right control linkages to put on, because like I said, we don't want to do these wrong. And here we go. Alright, so our ailerons are going to go into the outside hole and then onto the ball length. So we're going to go outside hole, and I don't know the best way to show this, Lori. I don't know. And then we're going to center. So when you're doing this, if you've never done it before, I don't know if they can see what I'm doing. We're going to hold our control surface flat to the outside of the wing, and then we're going to adjust our control rod.
Can you do it with the gear down, perhaps?
Yes.
Up.
Yes.
Put the gear up and then...
Hang on one second. Lori said it might be easier for you guys to see this if I put the gear up.
Yeah, the geared doors are just in the way.
Yes. To answer your question, though, I can definitely do that. I'm sorry, there's 6 rods, too. I said 4 earlier. There's 6 total. So the 2 shorter ones are going to be for your ailerons. The 4 long ones are for the flaps.
So if I can zoom in a little bit, too.
Now, these are not always the easiest things to put on. Here we go. So on this one, let's see, can you see that now if I kind of tilt it up like that?
Just focus. Yeah, we can see that a little bit better.
So, like I said, according to the manual, we're going to go to the outside hole on this one. And so I'm going to work on getting that into that outside hole. There it goes. If they're a little tight, just sit there and work at them. Now, if I just clip it in, it's going to have some down deflection in it. What we want to look at is right out here on the outside of the aileron. We want this to be flat right across here. Okay, good. There you go. Can you see that now? There's this little piece right here that we're trying to match it up to. Good? So if we were to clip it in right now, it would actually have a little bit of down deflection in it. And all we need to do is unscrew this rod about 3 turns. 1, 2, 3, I'm guessing. Put it back in there. It needs just a little bit more. 4, 5. Just a hair bit more, hair past a freckle more. Pretty darn close right there. I'm going to go 1 more half a turn. And it's perfectly lined up now. 1 more turn. I like to get these exact because the closer you get this, the less trim you're going to need. So now that is perfectly flat right there. Now we're going to move to our next flat panel, and we want to get that even to the ailerons. You always work from the outside in, so make your ailerons match, then go to these, and vice versa, and you should end up all at the same place. Now, there's this little white clip too. Whoa, look at my face right now. Anyway, there's these little white clips. The way these work is we're going to put it over the control horn now, turn it, and now we're going to snap that in. I don't know if you can see that or not, but we just snapped that in, and now our aileron is hooked up. You can see it now. There you go. So you got to snap that little guy on, and there you go. So now we're going to do the same thing for our flaps. So we're going to grab one of our long rods now, And our flaps are also going to use the outside control horn. So we're going to go on and put that in. We should be in the full up position right now, full up and lock position of the tray table. And we're going to pop that guy in there. And now we're going to start looking at this one. This one's got to go way in. We're going to screw that way down in there. I mean, way in there. Still up. Ooh, we're close. A little bit more. Still close. Gotta go a little more though. Now take your time at this part. This is the important part of setting up an airplane. The better you do this, the better this airplane's gonna fly. Take your time. Now we're going to do the inner doors. So these work together to pull it down at once. While we're here, we're going to take and snap on another one of our little white connectors. Get in the right position. Alright, if y'all are seeing my sweaty armpits right now.
Nope, I got you.
It's hot. It's hot here in Florida. It's 90 degrees today. It's hot. Alright, there we go. And now we're going to do the inner panel. Same thing, hit the outside hole. Possibly. They are tight. There you go. Now this one needs, gosh, that is almost on the money. That one didn't need no adjusting. That one was perfect. Now when we hit our flaps, we should have out and out. Perfect. Now we can slow them down once we get into our AFR menu for the model, but I'm going to have to turn the airplane around now to hook up the other side. So let's flip it around. I always like to do a slow down deployment on it, and we'll get to that here in just a minute after we get these other side hooked on.
I don't think I need to be zoomed for that one.
Yeah, hang on a second here. Let me turn it up a little bit. And we will get started on this. Once again, we're going to go to our short rod for the aileron. Outside hole. It's up to you if you need to zoom in on this or not. But now this one's got to bunch it down, so we need to go out several turns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll start there. And it's going to be different for every model, guys, because it's a difference of how the servos are installed. Make sure these are always the same. And you want to make sure your control rods are sticking straight out too. You know, that one's kind of simple. They normally never come crooked, but it could happen, I guess.
You got the clip on the last lap.
Oh, did I not put the clip on? You're correct. I'd have got to the end and had another clip. Somebody caught me. I didn't put the clip on, so thank you. There you go. We'll snap her in there though. Clip. And I just hooked up this one, so let's put the clip on this side also.
Nice catch, Twin City.
Yeah, nice catch, Twin City. Hi-ya. Go on the horn. There we go. Snap that clip in. Same thing, I've never had one of these clips let go other than when I've pancaked one into the ground, and it wasn't that clip's fault at that point. Alright, let's slide our next one in. Go into our flaps now, which are our short ones, or long ones, excuse me. We need about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try that. Close. 6, 7 turns. 8. Ooh, that's it right there. Clip it in. Let's snap that guy in now. Boom. Snap. And our last control rod to put on is the inner flap door for the side. Out just a hair. Just like that. And then we take our last clippy-doo. I don't really know what the official name of these are, but I'm calling it the clippy-doo. patent pending clippy doos. So there you go. And now we can test our flaps. So 1 position, 2 positions, ailerons, elevator, and rudder. Now we can flip our, we'll leave the gear up for now. But for now, let's turn it over. Ooh. Ah, bonk. Hiya!
Hello from New Zealand.
Why, hello from New Zealand. You're a long way from home today. So there you go. We now have ailerons, elevator, rudder, and our flaps all working. We also have already done our throttle calibration for guys that are just joining. That's all working. We can check our gear one last time. That's okay. I'm just putting them out. I'm going to set the airplane on them. At this point, we can actually set the airplane on the gear. Ta-da. All right. Now, you do have some peripherals for this airplane also. Let's see, if I remember right, the big one goes in the front. I didn't look at the manual on this. And the little one goes in the back, if I remember correctly. And there would be a string between the two of them in real life. But there is not for this time. There are also 2 weights included in the kit. I'm probably going to put them in there. If I remember right, they go behind the dummy radial. I have to look in the manual. I'm not going to put y'all through putting that together. Let's go on and check everything else real quick though. Dual rates and expo. We have a video already showing you how to do dual rates and expo. Once again, I'm not going to put you guys through it today. What a beautiful machine. Yeah, this is an awesome airplane. And like I said, it comes bare. No graphics applied. It comes with some sticker sets in here for guys that are getting in here late. You know, it comes with your decal sets right out of the box that you can put on it. Or for guys that want to, you can always go to Cali Graphics. There's tons and tons of sticker sets for this airplane to choose from. And that's why we do that. But it does give you, whoops, wonk. It gives you some of the FlightLine Corsair options on the back of how to put your stickers on. You can also check out the product page for the Corsair if you want to know more about some of the other sticker options that are available in it. And like I said, we do have this in 2 different versions. I actually have the other one out there too. I personally bought it a long time ago. I have the bubble top, which is the light blue. The one you're seeing right now, or excuse me, the bird cage is the light blue one. This is called the bubble top, which is the dark blue version. So at this point, per your manual, page 6 would be setting up your dual rates and expo. And that is kind of it. We need to put the propeller together, which we could do real quick. I'm going to unplug the model. Before we put the propeller on, we know everything's working now. I'm going to set up a throttle cut in my transmitter also, but for the sake of trying to get the video done right now, guys, I'm going to do that off camera when I'm putting the gyro and everything in the airplane also. And no shame in it. Like I said, if you like gyros, I do. They make these warbirds fly beautifully on not so beautiful days. And for some reason, I'm like the crosswind man. Every time I go to fly, if it's not crosswind, I just put my airplanes away anymore because something's wrong with the universe. So lastly, let's see, how am I going to do this to where this airplane is not in the way for me to show how to put this together? Hi-ya! Right in the way now? There we go, I'll do it off to the side. We're going to put the propeller together real quick. So the propeller, huh?
Zoom in on a specific spot.
Oh yeah, I'm going to build it together right here. I can also turn my radio off. So let's get our propeller put together real quick.
There you go.
What millimeter is this wingspan? The wingspan of this airplane is 1,600 millimeters. It runs on a 6S. I believe 4,000 to 6,000 battery. I'd have to double check that off the product page, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct.
6S, 4,000 to 6,000.
This is the finest foam Corsair on the market. I guarantee you there is no better flying airplane as far as these guys go. The other nice thing about putting together stuff on this carpet I was telling you about from Lowe's is your screws and stuff don't bounce off the table. They kind of hit this stuff and stay. The screw that's got the blue already on it is Loctite. That's going to be the one that actually holds the spinner into the outside of the hub. We got a skip coming in now. We're almost done, buddy. Get our screws out. We've got 3 screws and 3 screws. Just kind of opening all the packaging real quick. All right. Last little one here. Kind of late for the baby this evening. So now let's get this thing put together. All right. So it says to put these. Oh, hang on, gotta get the props. And you do get 1 extra propeller blade also with this airplane, just so you know. So you only need 3, you get 1 extra in case you hit the ground and need a replacement blade. The blade, when you're putting your prop together, the 18 by 12 nomenclature goes to the front, just so you know, as you're putting it together. And the square piece is the back of the hub, the circle is the front, where this will key onto the front, just so you know when you put this together. So when you get it, you're going to put your propellers with the 18/12 part facing outward, just like this. Maybe. If I can hold it all together now. Wait. Wait, 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 wait. I don't remember how this works. Alright. Alright, you ready, guys? So the machined aluminum piece that has the prop receiving point goes in the back. I know, buddy. And I'm sorry about the kid. It's late on a Friday night. We got him in here hanging out with us now. It is what it is. We're going to put those in there. And then this is going to go on top of it, like so. I'm trying to make sure I put it together right also. This one's a little confusing compared to the normal ones. There we go. That goes on there like that. And now we're going to take our little lock washers and they go on the screws and they go into there like that. Now I need to grab my screwdriver and we're going to put these together. Once again, plastic stuff here, so don't over tighten everything, guys. Let's get one started and just touching, just to kind of hold it all together, and then we can drop all of our lock washers and screws down into the propeller. The reason it's designed like this is so if you break a prop, you can just replace the prop instead of the whole hub and everything else. If you never have seen one of these FlightLine Corsairs in person, the propeller is actually very impressive on this. I know it's something crazy to think about modeling something that looks so realistic on the propeller that you don't think about a lot, but it really adds a ton to the model to have this cool looking propeller. Tighten her up. Once again, I'm going to use my 2-finger rule I showed you earlier. I'm just going to tighten it until it stops with my 2 fingers and not over tighten this thing. Papa and Skip just popped in for a second, everybody. Say hi, Papa.
Hi, Papa.
Hi, Papa. All right, 2 fingers. Get it tight. 2 fingers. Get it tight. And we are almost done with the assembly of this airplane, guys. We are right there. We can see the finish line. Is there anybody asking any questions? What size is this bird? 1600 millimeters. So just kind of go around and make sure. See, I still had a loose one there after tightening everything up. Uh-oh, this one's not lining up. Oh, sorry. My bad. I got one fighting me. It ain't lined up. I'll loosen it off a little bit, see if I can get that last one in. Unfortunately, one didn't line up completely perfectly. It's okay, we're just going to crack everything off just a little bit. If you ever have one that doesn't line up, you might just need to crack it off, loosen it just a hair. Why are you not going in there? Not off by much.
The first one will be a turd.
Of course. I would expect nothing less than something to not line up perfectly while I'm trying to put this together. Normally they just shoot in there. Yeah, back out just a little bit while I'm fighting with this one.
Instead of trying to chase you.
Oh, you know what? I grabbed the wrong size one. That might be why it's not going in there. I think I grabbed one wrong. I think I found the issue. Yep, I grabbed one wrong. There we go. Put that one in there. Now it'll screw right in there. Yep, look at that. Hey, look at that. Would you look at that? Got it.
It's like magic.
It's like magic. Alright. What?
Just you.
Oh. She's laughing at me because I'm a dork, guys. But you know what? I'm proud to be one. There we go. And there we go. Like I said, make sure you don't over tighten these propellers as you're putting them together. You don't want them to explode, basically. So there we go. We've got that all put together correctly. Now we can slide our airplane back over, maybe, if I don't run everything over trying to do it. I'm going to move the radio so I don't end up knocking that off the table. Hi-ya! And now we can put our propeller on. Come around here to the front. It just slides on. Like I said, this is always the last step. Don't put this on until you know you have everything else programmed and set up correctly. But it goes prop nut. And then you just need to grab a long, skinny something to fit down in there. I usually use this screwdriver. I keep it around just for this. There you are. And take and tighten that up like that. Then you're going to take the nut, put that on the end, and grab a screwdriver that fits the nut. Well, yeah. There we go. Nut and screw that has the Loctite in it. Just like so. Pretty long threads, there it is. And now you have that giant propeller. I mean, look at that thing. Holy moly. And that ain't going nowhere, right? One of those. Oh, pretty awesome though. Well guys, that gets the airplane all put together. I hope you have enjoyed tonight's episode. We have a little baby and a grandpa that are ready to be given some breaks. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, I'm checking it out right now. You love the scale retractable tail wheel. I know, isn't that so cool? I guarantee you, this is the finest foam Corsair on the market, guys. I promise you, if you get one of these, you are going to love it. I've seen so many of these. I want to say this is one of our most popular warbirds we've ever done. for sure. I'm trying to remember which model has the 4-blade. Yeah, there's a couple other models on the market that have a 4-blade. As far as I know, this is the only one with the 3-blade right now, and this one's got the big scale 3-blade. The color is amazing, yeah. And like I said, remember, I don't have the decals on it. Next time y'all see this, I'll be out flying it. I'll probably be at the Warbirds over Jacksonville next week when you actually see me flying this. And once again, if you're in the area, northern Florida, it's a little bit of a drive from us, but we're going to go camp out at the event for 4 days. So we're going to be over Warbirds over Jacksonville. Gas, electric, turbine, anything you want to bring out there, you can come fly at that field. I posted the flyer up on our Facebook community page. Definitely come out there and fly with us if you can. I like this bird. I must have it. Yes, it is awesome. Yeah, guys. Well, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed tonight's episode. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. Share this video out on Facebook, wherever you can. Tell your friends. Get you a Corsair. These are in stock here at Motion RC. And I'm going to let you guys go. We're going to go get us a beautiful weekend. I hope y'all get out and do some flying like we did today. Don't forget, you can also check that video out from today. We did go flying today. We did a live from out at the field. All right, guys. I've had a good time. If you have any questions for me, you can always hit me on Facebook, everywhere else. I'm always on the DMs and checking them. So we'll see you guys in the next episode, whether it's land, sea, or air. Motion has what you want. Bye, guys.